You think I do it pretty good? I should be able to do it good. And now, straight out of Wisconsin, the least talked about podcast in Wisconsin, Hip or Critical, with your guides, Alexa MKE and Shock the Moke MOKE, where we praise or vent on everything that in the end really just
Just doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter. And what doesn't matter to you this week, Alexa, with the
uh,
cute rabbit ears there, everybody?
Kitties. Meow.
Not a
Meow
cat
meow.
lady yet. She doesn't have a dozen of them. We're making sure of that with her. We're watching her very closely. She only has the one cat.
No. Oh, we have
Tutu.
3 cats, but I have 2 pairs of kitty ears, so
Gotcha.
I will be rotating kitty ears. This is the new thing.
All right.
So yeah. So let's see. Let's do our bubbles and do some food and movies. Why is that not going? There we go. Food and movies and fest. So am I. So yeah, have you been watching anything? Because I've been watching BattleBots. Have you been watching BattleBots?
No, I've not watched BattleBots.
Oh my God. So it's robot fighting time.
I
So
know it's a lot of fun. In fact, I think I caught the. It's funny you mentioned that. A couple weeks ago, I think I caught the Big Bang where they went up against Kripke in the BattleBots. And it was just a massacre. On the part.
oh my
Kripke
God, I
had the
tell you,
unit.
it's been the 2020 season, which they did during COVID, which I got to give them a lot of credit for bringing all those people, because I mean there were people from Brazil and New Zealand and England, along with all the American, uh, you know, robot builders and engineers. But there were a lot of kids this time, and it was really cute to see these little 11 and 15-year-old kids just. These bots weigh 250 pounds. They're no joke. And they're like, they got their little remotes
Yeah,
and
but
they're.
is it like the dad who makes the soapbox derby car for his kid? And all
No,
his
because
kids just put paint it in the end.
the one kid is mentored by Ray Billingsley, who's like, he's the one who has Tombstone, which is like a legendary bot. But the kid built the bot. He's a Mensa member. So no, it's like, I'm sure the as far as like the assembly, he probably had some help,
Right.
but
Right.
I think, but it was really a lot of
But it
fun.
isn't like when I was making the planet Neptune with my kids, and they only came by and checked on me every once in a while when I was making their project
No, no,
out of paper mache.
yeah, but it was really fun. I highly suggest it. It's on YouTube TV or Discovery Plus. The 2020, and now they're doing bounty hunters. So some of the legendary bots are getting hunted, and I
And
have
this
to
is
say,
actually one of those things where they say, you know, battle bots were actually destroyed and hurt during the process of this show.
oh my God, the like okay, so Hydra is the
Hail Hydra.
no Hydra exactly. Uh that's the Ewing family. They are the Waiachi builders. His dad did it, and the kids do it, and now well they're adult children. They're not
Sure.
little kids.
Right.
But Hydra's been a really like wicked bot, and it throws like bots like anywhere from 10 to 20 feet up into the air. And like I said, these are 250-pound bots, so it's a lot of fun. So if you like watching mechanical stuff, if you
Sure.
like
No, that sounds fun to get into that.
competition, go for it. Yeah, yeah. Same thing with Formula One. If you like watching mechanical stuff and you like watching competition, oh my God! First race a couple weeks ago was amazing. They're racing again this weekend in Italy. But the kids are all right. Lando Norris put in a really good showing. Some of the other young drivers put in a really good showing. Of course, the old veterans, Lewis and Valtteri and all those guys. They're doing really well. Max Verstappen's amazing. But yeah, the kids are gonna be doing really well. The young buck drivers are out for blood.
Well, and that's it's amazing how even on the NASCAR circuit, you see the kids that are getting their first shot behind the wheel, and they're under 18 now. I mean, I think there's some, right?
Yeah,
It's like
well,
the
not in Formula One, they're not under 18, but some of the
right, not in Formula, but NASCAR, it seems like, gosh, they got to sit on a phone book. Some of these kids, they get under.
yeah, they got the bricks on the throttle.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it is cool because Formula 1 is they are signing, some of these teams are signing, 12, 14-year-old go-kart drivers to be development
Gotta
drivers.
mature them. Yeah,
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 they
yeah.
get them
Get them
young.
young.
Yep, yep. So yeah. So yeah, I put a lot of stuff in our show notes today. So I was clicking around on the old interwebs, and apparently on Facebook there's this place called Dish Pantry. Had you ever heard of that?
No, no, no.
Okay, so I don't know if you looked at the show notes, but apparently they have locally made frozen dishes. It's a local company. They do calzones, pierogies, snacks, sriracha, mustard, biscuits, sausage patties, other hot dishes. They do have a few vegan options. They have some vegetarian options. But it is, they have a lot of meat and cheese for anybody who just wants, good old, nom nom nom. They have a pickup in Oak
Nom
Creek
nom
and
nom.
Bayview. Deliveries available. They are on Facebook. Again, it's called Hot Dish Pantry. I looked at their prices. They look pretty good, and everything's locally made. Looks
So
pretty
it's not
pretty
a
tasty.
shingle that you actually go to at all. You can't. It's not. There's not an online. It's just through Facebook.
It's through Facebook, and they have an ordering app, that you can click
Uh-huh.
through Facebook. And
Sure.
yeah, it looked pretty, and the feedback locally has been they're good. So that's one of those things that hey, you don't feel like
Cool.
making
Buy
dinner.
local.
Yep, go get some of those and go do local. So what do you got on our
Well, I
stuff?
actually left local. I went to. There's a blues guitarist that I love. That's cross between, I don't know, Buddy Holly, Chuck Berry, and I don't know, and then crank him up to 12.
So kind of
So
like
he's a
that
lot of
old 50s, 60s rock and roll.
right rockabilly, and
Yeah.
so taking it to electrify it all, and he does a great job, and he plays alone a lot of times, and so we went down and saw him on a Sunday down in Illinois, and the bar that we saw him at was nice because it did have one of those things where well, it was that beautiful Sunday, 2 weeks ago, and
Yeah, good weather.
we had they had the garage door open to the back, and it was one of those rooms where actually there were slits in the ceiling, so it was like a outdoor indoor kind of thing.
Okay.
Um, so and but our backs were to this open garage door thing, and there was nobody else at the table with us, and maybe there was another 20 people in this little area, so at most. So again, not threatening. We were able to have our masks down, and it was nice to see some music out in a bar, and not have the anxiety that we have. And we came walking into this Illinois place, with our masks up, and of course we're the only ones with masks on. The bartenders don't have them. Nobody else had them.
And
Um,
that's what's going to start happening. So we kind
and
of have to
and
be
right,
prepared for it.
it's the fatigue, right? And I guess I'm just wondering, is the reverse shaming of the mask coming now? What are you
I
doing?
hope not because I still plan to wear mine.
I know, but I felt like I was going to get mass shamed there, that I was wearing it. It's for once, the other way I
So is
felt,
that like an outlying like suburb of Chicago?
Hebron,
Yeah.
Hebron, yeah, it's just
Yeah.
over.
Oh, I know where
Actually,
Hebron is. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, stone's throw from Lake Geneva. So
Yeah.
that really, so part of Wisconsin, really,
Yeah, it's
but
down Highway 12 kind of a ways.
right, right, right,
Yeah.
right, right.
Yeah.
The rock, take the rock down. So it was nice. We got to see him a little bit, but it was nice. It was a nice warm day. Sun was out. We're listening to music. So it's kind of nice to know that yeah, I wish there was more masking, but they were doing separate and things like that. Nobody was getting too bumpy. There was not enough people there, I guess. Really to think of it that way. So.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
really
So,
cool.
but concerts are starting to show up now, man. They're starting to show them up. They're people are starting to book them now.
Good.
Music
We
is
we
happening.
we kind of need that, and it's kind of like that's why it's important for everybody just to get vaccinated, because then we don't have to worry about this nonsense.
Exactly, exactly. And as far as what I've been watching, I'll start out. It looks like you've got a little in there as well. Uh, my CW, of course, picked back up Nancy Drew Mysteries, which I was talking to another buddy of mine, and I said,
Okay,
"Yeah,
boomer.
CW, Nancy Drew," and he goes, "That is not the Nancy Drew." He said, "I watched some of that. It's not what I thought it would be." And he goes, "So you're watching it?" He goes, "Yeah, I kept on it." So
So is it really a modernized version of Nancy Drew?
yeah,
That's cool.
it's
Yeah.
supernatural and got ghosts and in it and too, which I actually enjoyed the characters so much that the supernatural part didn't need to come into play, but they have it in there anyway.
Well, that
So
kind of like, even for some of the stuff they had like on Sci-Fi Channel, with the magicians and things like that. I mean, that's kind of
right,
like a thing. So
right. And Aaron's on Jeopardy this week. Well, he's doing his stint for the next 2 weeks. Have you seen any of it yet?
I haven't, but did you see the April Fool's thing where they were saying that Aaron was going to be retiring from the Packers and going full time on Jeopardy?
No.
Yeah.
Well, he actually had a little video he sent out, just him on the couch. He was going like, I've done the math, and he's sitting back. He goes, I could play football for this amount of time, and they tape all these shows in a row, and I only need 26 weeks for that. So, I probably have plenty of time to do both, right? And then
There
Shailene,
you go.
the fiance Shailene, right next to him goes, he gets the phone on her and she's like nodding, going like, yes, I can certainly see that. That's gonna work. So he's bucking to be the guest host. But I'll tell you, watching it first, there's two things that were just my brain was going ha ha ha. First of all, it's not Alec Trebek's voice when you watch Jeopardy.
Yeah, it's not going to be the same no matter who does
No,
it.
right. And then you have Aaron Rodgers' voice in there instead. So, there's like a double mind F on this one, But I think he's doing very well and on there. And I think he really respects the show and things like that. And so, and it's really coming through. Like anything, how comfortable can you get? It's not like you're doing them one and then the next day, you're doing 5 in a row. So at the end of one day, you've kind of put one, you've done 5 shows, but you really only put a day in of getting comfortable,
Yeah, no, that's cool. No, that's cool that he's doing that. That's awesome. So you are Mr. Zombie guy.
Yes.
Have you seen the Netflix trailer for Army of the Dead?
No, I have not.
Okay, you gotta see the trailer for
another show.
Yeah, you're gonna have another. I don't know. I think it might just be a movie, but
Good.
So
I
it's
don't want another one season show.
it stars Dave Bautista.
Yeah,
and it's
the big guy from Guardians.
Yes, Drax.
Yeah.
So Dave Bautista's in it. That seems to be his like wheelhouse is like the sci-fi fantasy thing.
Hey, he's in that Spy Kids one. I haven't watched it yet. I got it in my queue. I want to watch that where he's like the a spy guy. And the little kids, running around him or something like that.
Yeah, I saw that. But yeah, so I just saw the trailer for this. It's right up your wheelhouse. They're basically in Las Vegas to do a heist when the zombie apocalypse breaks out in Las Vegas. So like the trailer has like showgirls in the full short.
Yeah. I saw a sneak on that. Now that you mention it, but I didn't see much of it. But that does ring a bell. Of Vegas heist thing going on.
Yeah. And then there's like a tiger zombie.
Cool.
So it's like
So that's not out, or it's out already.
It's May. It's going to be released on Netflix. So watch for it next month on Netflix. I think it's going to be right up your alley. So
yes.
All right. So you got a couple other things. Yeah, you had a couple other things.
Yes. Well, Doom Patrol. I mean, if you're a fan, and we are of the boys. And I know I've mentioned the Umbrella Academy. Have you watched the Umbrella Academy yet? I
am a huge Gerard Way fan. I actually have the graphic novels.
Oh, fantastic! So are you enjoying the?
Oh, I love Umbrella Academy. It's not perfect, but it's just so much crazy fun.
Well, still killing the what's his name, the talking ape, is part of the deal and all that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was surprised that they let that happen, but anyway, so if you're in on those two, you should be in on Doom Patrol as well.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Brendan Fraser. And it's kind of funny. Brendan Fraser's in it, and he's kind of gotten a knock, like, where is Brendan Fraser? And he actually was trending on Twitter because someone just sent out a thing going like, hey, how about a shout out for Brendan Fraser? That's it. Kind of like one of those things, and then everybody started going, yeah, great actor in this and The Mummy, and he did this, and and everybody just starts going, what an somebody who's not really gotten all the accolades that they should, And then every once in a while, people are like, yeah, Doom Patrol. And I'm kind of like thinking to people, yeah, do you even know he's in this? People, like, do you know he's in that? But I'll tell you, he does. When he was, you talk about Formula One racers. He was a racer,
Okay.
and that's his mate was his real job before he became the Doom Patrol. But he's just this big. He looks more like what's his name from Talladega Nights, Farrell, Will
Oh, Will
Ferrell,
Ferrell. Okay, yeah.
with a beer gut, and it was not the lean guys you see in cars anymore. But so that was kind of funny. But yeah, so he's in it. A Matt Boomer, who we love from White Collar,
Yep.
and it's so funny to see him because he must have been very young in White Collar because he's older, his face is longer now. I heard his voice first before I actually recognized him. So it's great he's in there. Timothy Dalton, who
Oh,
shows up in a
wow.
lot
Okay.
of great things.
Yeah.
He was in Penny, what's that? Penny Dreadful. I know I tried that out for a little while. Uh, Ed Asner actually had a cameo in one of
Is Ed
the
Asner
episodes.
still
And
alive?
that's what Chrissy said. Is he still alive? And I actually look it up to see if maybe he died during the filming or something, after. But no, Asner is still kicking. So,
Oh
and
my
then
God. Mary
and then
Tyler Moore.
yeah, and then all of a sudden I'm watching this cockroach that's talking that's going to take over the world, and that's why they say the meek shall inherit the earth because
Right,
when
right, yeah.
nuclear war hits, cockroaches are the only thing that will survive. They love the radiation from nuclear war, so. So there's a talking cockroach that's going to take once every mankind blows itself up, it's then turned to rise. And I'm like listening to that voice, and I'm like, it's Booger from
Oh,
Revenge of the
okay.
Nerds
Yeah.
and Better Off Dead. He was the guy on the top of the hill. Do you
Oh
know how
my, I
much this
love
mountain
Better
of
Off
coke
Dead.
is worth?
Yes. I know. Better Off Dead. And then what was the other one that he did? That one, the one filmmaker. But yeah, those were great movies. John Cusack. Yeah.
He shows up in stuff, Booger. You see him every once in a while. If you look through his stuff, he pops into shows every once in a while. So that's kind of fun. So yes, definitely give that two. Oh, and I thought I had a great show because the first season is like 14 episodes. They kept coming, and I didn't even look. I figured out we're gonna get to 10 again, and then it was
Right.
11, 12, and I'm like, all right. But then the second season was like 8. I'm like, oh, you bastards!
Yeah, shake the fist. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, all
Uh,
right. And you actually read a book?
no, I didn't read a book yet.
Oh,
So, little story time.
you're booking the book?
No, well, I used to race motorcycles. I also used to repair all the leathers for the guys who raced
Right.
motorcycles.
That's good too.
Um,
Yep.
I had articles written about me when I did it because I was basically the queen of motorcycle leather repair.
Right, right. You'd actually make jackets for people, didn't
I
you?
didn't make too many things, but I did a lot of repairs, did a lot of alterations, did a lot of lettering and graphic
Patching.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my nickname was Spider Chick back then. Some people still call me Spider Chick, but despite the fact that I'm wearing cat ears.
I was gonna say,
But one of
Spider
the
Cat Trick.
editors of Road Racing World magazine, we kind of started talking a little bit, and I was on a lot of forums and giving out advice or whatever, and so he got to know me pretty well. And his name is Michael Gugis. He's written things for Road Racing World. He's done some investigative journalism, a few other things. But yeah, so he called me a couple weeks ago and said, "Hey, you used to read all sorts of sci-fi, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "You used to like William Gibson." And I'm like, "Yeah." And so we kind of were talking. He wrote a book. He sent it to me. So I got a free copy of his book,
Oh,
Bridge by Michael
autograph?
Gugis. So I will be reading it. It is a sci-fi novel.
Autograph?
It is not autographed. That's what my husband asked.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to.
oh.
I'm gonna have to poke him with a stick. But yeah, I mean, I hadn't talked to him in like about 10 years, so I was really honored he remembered some of our
Right. Oh,
conversations
that's
and stuff.
cool. It's cool.
So
You
it's kind
touched
of a cool
someone
thing.
and it came back once.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah,
You
touched by a spider.
know.
So yeah, so I will give a review on it in a few weeks after I read it, and we'll go from there. But I thought that was kind of fun.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah. So what do we got? We have internet adventures. So Dave, Do you know what NFT is? Have you heard about
I
NFT?
forgot. Yeah, I read a whole big thing on that when the first one came out that the guy got the $600,000 for his pictures. He
Yeah.
did one a day picture or something like that, and he ended up selling all of them. And I know it's like a Bitcoin for pictures. That's a better way
Yeah.
to think about it, right?
So cryptocurrency is on what's called blockchain, and that's a for the uninitiated, it's really too difficult to explain how blockchain works. It's basically an encrypted form of currency. So NFT is an encrypted form of artwork. So you basically get your token after you purchase it, and you are free to sell copies or whatever. It's really interesting how it works. But yeah, it's a new thing, and I'm kind of like looking at it going, why do I want to buy a piece of artwork on the internet? I can't hang
Right.
it
Well, that's
in.
the thing that nobody gets credit for it out there, and they're trying to get a way that you can, watermark it,
Right.
like you see lots of stuff.
Well,
But
see, that's
here's the
just the thing. There is a token attached to
right,
this
right,
whole
right,
thing, and you
right.
get like a link, and it's on a website. The only problem is if somebody takes your piece of artwork down for whatever reason, because there's different hosting sites for this, you may not be able to access it. So,
Oh, if it doesn't work out or something. Yeah, I suppose that's well.
yeah.
The one thing that I thought was very cool about this is the whole thing about what happens in the art world all the time. Picasso sold his works for $1,000 and they're worth millions now. He doesn't get the millions, the 55 million that
Right,
he
right,
sold.
yeah.
He never got that money. So this NFT thing, because it has that, it actually kicks back every time it's sold. The guy who originated it gets a kickback of
Yeah, he
5% or
gets a
something
piece of
like
the
that.
piece of the
He gets a
sale.
piece.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
and that's the way, that's how it should be. It's music is like that. You know what I mean? Every time it gets played on the radio, the guy gets a piece,
Yeah, yeah.
So
To be fair, this is really interesting. It's in its infancy. So, I think we need to watch, what goes
well,
on
they
with it.
already said that, yeah, that's already done the bump up, that the values are even lower than, that, yeah, they kept on saying predicted values now, and,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah. So
using words like
it is
that.
really interesting. So I think it's something that, to watch for the future, because I know Trey Radcliffe, he's a photographer. He does fantastic HDR photography. Stuckincustoms.com if you ever want to look at his work. He's got a whole website. He does tutorials. He does photo walks. He does all sorts of really cool things. He's on the NFT wagon. So if you want some of his pieces, you can purchase them through the
Well,
NFT.
why do you think Gary Larson finally? He didn't have a site with his cartoons on it, and he just keeps seeing all of his cartoons every time he goes on Facebook or something. People are using his cartoons, and he's like, "Well, I should be getting something of this." So he made his own website finally. You know, what I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
but there's a true example. Is that cartoon ours now since he gave it to us, or is it still his? So
Well, and the thing so we have intro music at the beginning. We actually have outro music that we never play. But I purchased those on a site where people, put them for sale, and then we use them under their Creative Commons license, because we're not really using them commercially. This is more for our fun.
right.
But I did purchase the commercial license when I did it, because I believe you have to give artists their due. And the same thing when you see, photography or prints or graphics, you can go on sites like Etsy, you can go on sites like Shutterstock, and you can purchase that artwork, download it, and use it for your own benefit. So this NFT is just another I guess tool in the toolbox for an artist to get paid.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I think it's
it
kind of
should
cool.
be.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So you were looking into the Facebook hack, because
All right.
I'm
Yeah.
not
So the
interested. I don't do Facebook.
I know, I know, but it is interesting is that this is just resurfaced. It was originally from 2019, where they got data mined. Well, it's actually like they shut down a part of their system, and all this thing that they were using was just sitting there, and they didn't know that it was unsecure.
Oh, they
So anybody,
did. That's the thing.
right?
They just didn't
So the file
care.
didn't have a lock on it. They just, we're done with it. So, they said it was, half a billion. But now the thing is that, well, there was emails at that same time. They didn't release that at the time, but they're like, well, that's only, but they're 2.5 million emails back then. So that only represents 0.5% of the whole data mine. So no worries there. And again, it's still just phone numbers and
Yeah,
your
but it's also
email
like
address.
Mark Zuckerberg's phone number, who acted like it was no big deal. I'm
Right.
sorry. You're collecting information and data. So the way Facebook does it is that, if you're on a Facebook account, they hook everybody's contacts out of your contacts on your phone, in your mail, and they
I always
reach
said
in.
no. I always said no to that.
Well, you can say no, but they do it anyway. They have your mic on. I mean, that's how you can talk about, say, a medical issue with, Chrissy, and the next thing you know, you're getting, weird things on ads on Facebook that
For
relate to that
hospitals.
medical issue. It's bullshit because they know. They're
Yeah.
looking.
Well, it's I guess the whole thing is they kind of laughed. It's like, so, don't get up in arms when you hear, 500 million, phone numbers, everything. With as much action as going on, Google reports that actually 20% of social accounts are compromised at one point, in their life.
Oh, I
And they
think
even
it's
say,
more than
well,
that.
right. And how many times do people just shut down an account and restart it and don't, so they don't even know that? I mean, how many there's tons of Facebook accounts that got hacked and people just don't know or forget their password and they just start a new one up, you know?
Well, see, and that goes back to Europe, where you have the right to be forgotten. So they have laws in Europe where you can write these companies and tell them, "I want you to delete
Take
all
your
my
photo
data."
down, right?
Yeah,
Right, right,
we
right.
need
And
that
unzip us
here.
come up.
We
Yeah.
definitely need that here.
But the short man, the long matter of it all too, is that Facebook is hacked 600,000 times a day. And all that really means is 0.06% to the users. So, again, that's a high number because there's a lot of people on it.
Well, but the thing is what if it's you? I mean, it just comes down to what if it's you. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, if it's Facebook me, then, whatever, then we move on. If it's, my email, that's a different thing. You know what I mean?
yeah, the problem is Facebook is data mining all sorts of things about you, and that's what people don't understand, like some of
It's
the
supposed to
metadata.
make my life better, though. This is for good. They
Facebook
know
doesn't
when I
make
need
anybody.
toilet paper.
Facebook makes nobody's life better. In fact, they've done studies that show that Facebook actually makes people more depressed. So there
Oh
you
yeah,
go.
yeah,
But yeah,
oh yeah,
so
yeah,
but I know what is going to make you sad.
yeah. Yahoo answers going away, and it's not really for the questions; it's for the answers. The
Yeah, I know the answers were like epic.
but they're stopping it, and I'm like, oh darn it, you
Yeah.
know. I hope it'll still be on that. What's that Wayback
The
Machine for
Wayback Machine.
everything?
Yeah, I hope so. That would be funny. Yeah, that would be funny. For sure, for sure. Well, let's move on to things that are kind of matter. Is this
Yahoo answers. Uh,
critical? So, Dave, you got your vaccine. I got my vaccine. Now everybody can get a vaccine.
I feel like Oprah now. You get a vaccine, you get a vaccine, you get a vaccine.
That's
They're
right.
making it rain like $1 bills at a strip joint now. They're talking about how they
But
have
they
to put
cost
them in
like
the
20
fridge.
bucks a piece to the government, but they're giving them away free.
Right, and they're putting them back in the fridge at night now. If you go to the Wisconsin Center, it's just walk up kind of thing now.
Yeah.
And I actually someone was giving a walk up on the Johnson and Johnson. I could have done it once and been done already now instead of waiting for my second one.
They're
But I'm glad I got
actually
the
they're
Pfizer.
pausing the Johnson and Johnson one.
Yeah, I know. It's the blood clot thing, and they're worried about it. And it's still going back to this 0.06% crap again. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If
Yeah.
it, if the amount of people that caught this thing and died wasn't a high enough percent for you, then the percent of people that are getting having adverse effects from this shouldn't alarm you at all either.
Well, 500 million people dead. I'll take my chances with the vaccine.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Today again, I had a discussion with my manager that it's like it's really not that bad. 500,000 people dead. I
Half a
mean,
million, yeah. I
I
said
mean,
half a billion. I
where do you
meant
think
half a
those
million.
deaths came from? They're all exaggerated,
No, they're
you
half
know?
a billion.
Yep. Well, I
500,000.
mean, just in the
Yeah,
U.S. And he
yeah.
and he gave me the old, well, there was no flu, and that's because all those COVID cases are really flu cases. And I go, no, there's no
No,
flu
they're
because we
not.
all had masks on when we're washing our hands. You know, that's why.
Is he a
We did the
QAnon
right thing.
person?
Oh my gosh, so close to it.
Yeah, he probably is. He probably
No.
gets all his information from Facebook.
Yeah, I know. He looks at me, so, oh, Dave, you got to stop looking at CNN. And I try to I look right at him. I go, listen, I go to AP, I go to Reuters, I go to Al Jazeera. I
Al
said,
Jazeera is actually a really good source.
it is, and I'm like, so don't give me, I said, the only places I don't go, I look at him and go, Fox, One America News, and Newsmax. So
Right.
if any of yours have that stamped on them, please go away. Breitbart, no way.
Yeah, right, right. So locally, it's construction season in Wisconsin.
Well,
Yay.
no, 2 seasons in Wisconsin, winter and construction.
That's damn straight. So there's been a controversy about redoing the I-43 corridor. They want to widen it. It's going to affect neighborhoods. I know that it's a little further along in the process. So I don't know how much they're actually, is set in stone, but have you heard anything from anybody about this, or
No, I haven't looked. I
it's not
haven't
on your
seen this
radar?
one. No.
Yeah, so I guess and a lot of it is going to start kind of like from like Shorewood north, into Grafton, but then they're going to also bring it like towards North Avenue and stuff, and that's where people are, worried, like Capitol Drive, North Avenue areas. And I've driven that, and it doesn't get too terribly bad. There's sometimes a day where it gets backed up, but if you hit it the right time, it's not too bad. But I do agree it needs to be redone. I hate to see them affect neighborhoods, adversely, or property, values and stuff like that. So I'm hoping they'll take, some time with that. But then,
Just got to go over the top. Got to do everything over the top now.
they were talking about that. That's expensive. But then the other one is the I-94 corridor, kind of near the stadium. And I read an op-ed in Urban Milwaukee about adding bus lanes and bicycle lanes, and I'm like, how's this going to work? I mean, I understand the bus lanes. It's similar to what probably would happen in Chicago, but I mean, bicycle lanes, are they talking about adjacent roadways? I don't know if you've read anything about it.
No, I haven't seen that. No, no,
Yeah,
no, no.
yeah. So I mean, that's something I think we should keep an eye on, because we all take the freeway, especially that stadium interchange is pretty busy. Um, you
Well,
know.
there's that right there is that what is it, 84th and 83rd or 79th, something like that, right after between the stadium and the fairgrounds, where there's the merge and exit, those two roads right
Yeah,
next to
yeah.
each
So
other.
you get off,
That's
you
not
can.
a that's terrible. That's a terrible thing. They got to shut one of those down on each side.
Yeah, so you can get off on 84th Street, and then if you stay over to the right, then you can get off on 68th, 70th, so you can go 70th and then go down another
Right,
block,
but
basically, to go
it's
down.
like, yeah, it's like you got even coming there come people are emerging and you're trying to get off, and that short 100 yards there.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah, it's pretty tight. And then the other thing is I know when they were talking about it, several years ago, they wanted to buy up the property that Hunger Task Force is on, and I don't know what Hunger Task Force would do, because they're in a really perfectly centralized location for everything they do, and they do so much good. So I hope they really consider again if they're going to do something, neighborhoods and adjacent businesses and whatnot, because there's a lot over there that's really valuable, and they have to be careful because you've got the cemetery for the VA over
Yeah,
there.
oh yeah, oh
Yeah,
yeah.
so I mean, there's a lot to think about. So I think it's worth keeping an eye on, for the future, because none of us like construction, but we all like good roads. So we're gonna have to find a balance. So yeah. So do you ride bicycles?
I have one, but I have not been on it in a while.
Okay, so in Franklin, there's an area in the Kegel-Alpha Trail that is basically for mountain bikes. So they want legislation that would regulate and almost eliminate cycling in all county parks. Now, this is what I call the NIMBY, not in my backyard. These are those Franklin residents. They want to have
Right.
an overly broad legislation. I guess this loop is in the Mangan Woods in Franklin, and it's been used, for horses, but then it became approved as a mountain bike trail, and there's a lot of mountain bikers, and fair.
Certainly more than horse people. They have one of those two out in Richfield on the way to up like 164 on the way to Slinger there. There's a park over that way by Hubertus and Richfield Park, and they have the same thing. They have the mountain bike trails. I thought, oh,
Yeah.
that's a neat idea. But it shows you this one's a mountain bike trail. This is a walking trail. Whatever.
Yeah, and this is one of the few approved mountain bike trails in Milwaukee County. It was there before a lot of these residents were there. So now they want to, limit the fact that people can do this. And what I loved out of the article I read is this, and I quote, "Neighbors now fear greater increase in ridership and event coordination if the trails are improved or expanded. They also do not want the trails to be redirected closer to their private property line, even as they store their own private property and even build private structures inside park boundaries." One commenter at the meeting suggested that the distance should be scaled even further because the larger size of their properties, makes 50 feet feel closer than more in a more densely populated area. If that isn't the definition of NIMBY, not in my backyard.
Right, because my yard's so big and so wide, I have to see him go across it the whole time out my back watching him. Where if I had a smaller yard, I'd only see him for a second drive by it. But now because I have this
Exactly.
huge yard, I have to see him go the whole time.
And it's not like, people who are mountain biking are, tearing stuff up or.
And drinking beers and throwing them out and
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sorry that you bought a piece of property next to a mountain bike trail and now you're worried that people are actually going to use their mountain bikes near your property. Screw
Right. He's the same
you.
guy. He's the same guy though, that's driving on the roads. Going like, why are those bikers? Why, can't they be on the sidewalk or something? He's gonna complain about them being in the road.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And he's the same guy that also says, why don't those kids? Why are they at the skateboard park? Why aren't they out in the country somewhere?
Yeah, yeah.
Enjoying nature.
Let's have urban kids who are coming, because I mean the skateboard park in West Dallas and the skateboard park in Tosa, they are always busy. No, let's have the kids stand on a corner drinking beers and smoking doobies. That's a better idea. I mean seriously. But what gets me about this, it really makes me mad. It's like you go and you build your house next to a busy road, but you don't like the noise from the road.
Oh yeah.
The
Right.
road was there well before you built your house. Or you go and you build your house next to a smelly farm. Now you don't want a smelly farm? Too bad.
I'm out in the country. I want a derriere without the smell.
Exactly.
No, that's my favorite cartoon ever. Was there's a picture of a tree and a bear by it, right? Next picture is a bear and no tree. Next picture is a bear and a like a garage. The next picture is a woman with a garbage bag and emptying it in the garbage, looking at the bear, going, "Where did you come from?" And the bear's saying, "I've always been here."
Yeah, and
He
that's
hasn't
about
moved.
right.
The bear hasn't moved.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's just, to me, it's just
You see the
absolutely
geese
ridiculous.
walking. You can see turkeys walking across the road. Or geese, they were here first.
Yes. So you guys can deal with your damn mountain bikers, and hopefully there are more, and hopefully they do some event coordination because, people like to exercise. It should have been a feature, not a flaw, to buy property near a mountain bike trail.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
seriously.
that's good. NIMBY. Yeah.
NIMBY. NIMBY, not in my
NIMBY
backyard.
Karens. NIMBY Karens.
Yeah, so speaking of backyards, we have tailgating back at the newly renamed AmFam Field.
Bam. Bam.
Am fam. Do you do a lot of tailgating? Do you go to a lot of?
I like to. Yeah, I mean, again, more back in the day when I drank, but now it's not as big of a thing. But yeah, the Packer tailgates, epic. Brewer tailgates have been epic in my lifetime. Yes, yes, it's certainly part of the deal. That
Yeah.
on a nice day and everything like that. Of course.
Yeah, I think I've only gone tailgating a couple times. It wasn't, a big deal for me because sitting in a parking lot and eating and drinking didn't.
That's
But
what
I
I
mean, I
said.
understand the appeal because a lot of people, have big families and they get together and it's kind of fun.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Well, we've done it for concerts too. I mean, Alpine Valley, is great for tailgating and all that.
I think that's more you want to get there and make sure you got your, because especially if you're general seating, you wanted to make sure you got your.
And Parkway in the back because you ain't getting out. If you don't get out, if you don't leave a half hour before the concert ends, you ain't leaving for 2 hours after it ends.
That's right. That's right. You always leave halfway through the encore, even though it could be really
Exactly.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard Yellow Ledbetter from Pearl Jam, one of my favorite songs, in the parking lot. Oh, damn it.
Yeah, but I understand because that traffic jam from a lot of those are bad. So, do you do a lot of boating at all?
No,
No,
no.
no, you're not on the water. Okay, so I'm usually not on Lake
But you
Michigan.
said Mussels. Is that like Muscle Beach? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I meant. No,
Muscle
mussels,
Beach.
mussels as in little
With the
mollusk kind of.
zebras? Are we
Yeah,
talking about the zebra
we are kind
mussels?
of talking about the zebra mussels or yeah.
Right.
So
Our version of the Asian carp.
yeah, that too is here. But so I guess the mussels, because they've been here for a while. So I was reading a really cool article about it. So in the last decade, we really haven't gotten rid of many of the mussels that have been here. They've gone down like just a couple of percent. And it's just really fascinating, to see how an invasive species, hurts, the ecosystem. They really have hurt the ecosystem because we don't have quite the types of fish. I mean, Lake Michigan, there's a lot of people who fish on Lake Michigan and pull stuff out, but we would have a more
The perch are getting really low there now. Yep, the
yeah,
perch. Yep.
yeah. So we would have a more diverse, variety of fish if we didn't have these mussels. So, with that in mind, it doesn't matter whether it's an inland lake or whether it's, a waterway, make sure that if you're boating that you're making sure you're not carrying little
Get the
buddies.
barnacles off.
Yes, yes. You don't want to be carrying the little buddies with you because they can invade other areas and they're very difficult to eradicate. So, just something because the DNR is keeping on top of that. So, something to think about as well. So, yeah. So, you've got something on the prince.
Oh, his passing and everything, and I thought it was kind of again. Now they're doing the prince was a good guy. However, he was the drunk uncle at Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was not always. It was a little off color from time to time. So but to know that he self-deprecated himself a lot of times about that as well. I learned a new word. Dontoped Dontopedalogy. Dontopedalogy, yes,
There you
which is
go.
the
Very
science of
good,
opening
Dave.
your is the science of opening your mouth and putting your foot in it. Something he said he had practiced for a good many years. And
I
he
think we
lived
all
to
do that from time to
99.
time.
Yes, and then so I've thought to myself, geez, that's a goal, man, to be able to put your foot in your mouth all the way up to age 99. I've got a goal.
Yeah, you got to stay with it in the brain though.
No, then you're even putting your foot in your mouth more.
Well, then people just say you're doddering and old. You have to do it when you're really cognizant.
Well, they always that's what the who was it, Ray Romano had a little skit or something like that. My daughter, she's talking to her toes and counting them and naming them, and it's all fun and great when it's your little daughter and grandpa doing it. And now it's a different thing.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, more cancel culture too. SpongeBob had a couple episodes pulled. Well, one was on a contagious quarantine thing, so they took that out. I understand that. And
I
another
don't
one
know.
was him, Mr. Crab, and somebody else, or Patrick probably, were stealing underwear out of people's drawers, which I understand why they pulled that one. It's like, what? Well, how did that one get on anyway? You know?
I don't know. The most classic episode of South Park is the underpants gnomes.
No, that's true though. That's not SpongeBob though. That's
Step
South
one is
Park.
underwear. Step three is profit.
Right, right. They showed up too in in they wanted to get their COVID shots early too when the new South Park movie for the Contagion, and then Barry Alvarez retires.
Yeah, yeah, I read
And
that he was thinking about it and that he was probably going to do that, and so it's official now.
oh my gosh, him standing in the auditorium or wherever they took a picture of all the awards that he's, the trophies that have come to this place since he's
Yeah,
stepped his foot in here.
yeah.
Um,
Badger's
yeah,
Badger
there'll never
proud,
be
I
another.
tell you.
Yeah, never be another one like him. We were in a good era here with him, and he left a good legacy, and hopefully it lasts for a long time. And he was even cool. I was the athletic director when when our coach of our Badgers just up and left for another job. He
Yeah, he just took over. He
in,
stepped right back
just
in.
right in. You know, so yeah, what a great guy too. Never heard a discouraging word, and nobody'd ever had something scandalous on him, from what I understand.
Isn't
I,
that
I laugh.
refreshing?
I think he had a son or grandson that put a parakeet in a microwave and got a lot of hell for it, or something like that. That was about it.
That has nothing to do with him, though. So
Nothing to do with him.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And I'd like to
So,
say anything I did in college too has nothing to do with me as well.
well, we're gonna give Moke some bubbles, and Moke's gonna tell us a tale. It's our Moke moment.
All
Okay, so the
right.
saga of the fridge continues.
The fridge. Well, it's ended now, which is great. But here's where it all started. Okay, yeah, ever since I moved into this place, which is over a year now, it's I couldn't have ice cubes because they would evaporate. So and anything you opened, like my vegetables in bags in the freezer would get freezer burn quick, and all that. And I lived with it. But all of a sudden, my sodas and my milk seemed to get a little bit warmer, and I'm like, oh, what the heck is going on? So I put a temperature gauge in there, and it's 43, 44 in the fridge, and that's at the highest. I have it at the
Yep,
highest
that was
setting,
from
which is
last
really the
episode.
lowest setting.
Yep.
Highest setting means the lowest setting. 5 is make it the coldest. So, and it doesn't do anything. So I know that there's something wrong with the freezer, because the freezer is what feeds the fridge to make it cold. And there's there's no blockage from the freezer to the fridge. So I put a note in on our portal, the service request through email, through their, I can pay my bills there, and you can make a request online.
Yep, we
No,
got that too.
right, right. Hey, just want to let you know my fridge, 44 degrees, 43, 40. Anything above 40 is unsafe. Easy to check that. You could check that out if you needed to. That's just not something I'm saying.
You got to look at
But
the Googles.
for-
Look at the
right, I said
Googles.
40 is minimal for safe. I said I had a pizza that I pulled out of there, and it was folded. It was bent on me. It wasn't
Yeah, you
frozen.
told me it was just like.
Right, right. So it was like soggy in my fridge. I still did cook that thing up.
Of course you did. Why wouldn't you?
I hate it. Yeah. So,
Was
so
that the
I
10-degree rule instead of the 10-second rule?
yeah, right, right. So I just said, so I need someone to let me know what's going on with this. What we can help me with. So that was on a Sunday. Thursday, after I do this great email system or request system that they have, which is supposed to alert them, of course, I would imagine. Thursday, I have to text again. Now I have their texts, he, she, it's a brother and sister, and I have his, hers, and the company one. So I actually have 3 phone numbers. So I texted, hey, just wondering if there's any timetable on my request about the fridge, because I don't want to buy any new groceries. So Friday, I get a call. oh, hey, yeah, my sister saw it, and I hadn't seen it. And I'm like, well, okay, how did you not see this? How did you not see a request in a porthole that you set up? How do you not see that? Okay, so that's a problem on your end. All right, but and then to know that your sister saw it and didn't do anything about it until I text, and then she goes, "Oh yeah, I saw that." Well, now you're talking about it. You
So now
guys
you have
don't
to poke them with the stick.
you don't get communicate, you guys. All right, so so he's like, well, all right, I'm gonna try to get a hold of my guy, and I'll give you a call back. So Friday he calls back again, um, and says, hey, I couldn't get a hold of my guy, but I got different guy coming out on Tuesday, but I'm still trying to figure out to get my guy. And I'm like, okay, well, great, we got something set up on Tuesday, fantastic. So, um, so then Monday comes, so no, then I get a call out back on that Monday as well, and I mean on Friday saying, "Hey, I got a hold of my guy. He's going to come in on Monday." Oh, fantastic! All right, good, good, good. So Monday I come in, and it doesn't look like anything's changed and everything. So I text, um, "Hey, did the guy make it by? And then all of a sudden I get a phone call. Oh, my sister didn't tell you? No, it was moved to Tuesday. Okay, so now they're doing the old, didn't my sister, didn't he, didn't she? They're doing that. Like, did they get back? Didn't they get
Oh,
back?
don't you love that? That's always fun.
It's only two of you guys. Come on, take the lead here, someone. So, and it's going to be Tuesday, and I'm like, well, okay, Tuesday's what we were expecting anyway. So, all right, so that's fine. So, Tuesday comes, and I'm sitting at work, and all of a sudden I get a call from him. It says, "Hey, I'm here with the repair guy. What's wrong with it again? It looks like it's working." And I'm just thinking to myself, what? By looking at it, you can tell it's not over 40 degrees. You can tell that it's 0 degrees in the freezer just by looking at it.
No, no, it was actually running. You had it plugged
you know,
in.
yeah, the light bulb's on. So what? That means it's working. Is that what
Yes.
you and the
Yes.
repair guy, or that's where you're? And I'm just like, well, like I put in my notes in the porthole. So now I have to say the exact same thing that I had already put in writing. You know, pizza was unfrozen. Poke some of the food. It's not frozen in there. I said my ice cubes don't are dried out. Everything's freezer burned. The temperature is not where it should be. All right, well, we'll look at it. Then he called me back. Oh yeah, well he said it was probably the defroster timer going off too many times. Wait a minute. He said it probably is. So that you just took a shot. And he goes, well, yeah, he changed it out and everything like that. But he says it should be that. And he goes, it's probably that. And he goes, okay, well, it doesn't sound like he's very sure. I said, and I don't think that's what it was, but okay. So I had bought a temperature gauge already, put it back in Tuesday night, put it in the freezer. Nope, 23 degrees all night long. I have a high and low on it. I put ice cubes in there. It went up to like 40, I think, in there. So,
Oh, that's good for frozen food, 40 degrees.
so before it went back down to 23. So I'm like, so that was on Tuesday, the repair guy, and I'm like, I knew it wasn't the right thing to do. So Wednesday, I call back the him, and I say, yeah, this didn't work. All right, and if you're bringing the repair guy by again, unless I hear the words freon, excuse me, or compressor, I'm not going to believe he fixed this. Not going to be fixed. Okay. And he goes, all right, well, let me work on it. Okay. So this is on Wednesday now. So
So
Friday,
now you're like a week without a fridge.
right. So, well, it's still, it's not working correctly. Correct. I got to worry about leftovers
No,
and,
it's it's
everything I got
it's
in
it's a
there.
week
Yeah.
without a properly
Right.
working fridge.
Exactly. So, so, so that's Wednesday. Friday, 4 p.m. at night, so at the end of my day on a Friday, I text, hey, surprise, I haven't heard any follow up since Wednesday. Oh, and then he calls. And all of a sudden, ring, ring. Man, my voice is froggy today. So I get ring, ring. And so he calls back, oh, yeah, I'm going to the store tomorrow. I'm going to buy one and get it delivered to you tomorrow. I'm like, well, that's mighty, good of you. But I think that's rather ambitious. I know that it's hard to find. With COVID, actually, refrigerators are hard to find, and to
Appliances
buy
in general are in short supply.
right, and right, exactly. And cars now are getting made without the computer chips they need. This is great. So,
Well, they don't need the computer chips. They just,
so, and well, it's mighty ambitious, but hey, I'll be here till 10 o'clock on Saturday. Just let you know. All right. So Saturday comes, 11 o'clock. I'm here. We leave. Chrissy's like, well, don't you want to stay around? I told him I was here till 10. He hasn't called me. I don't need to adjust for him. I'm not adjusting for them.
no, I wouldn't either.
So I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything Saturday. I come home on Sunday. There's not a new fridge here, so he must not have bought one and got it delivered. When I was gone. So this is Sunday. Nothing happening. So Monday. so 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 Monday. I hit him up again with a text. Again, no call over the weekend. He's going to buy one and get it delivered on Saturday. Don't hear from him Saturday. Don't hear from him Sunday. Monday, I text. So delivery on Saturday didn't work. Where are we at? Nothing on Monday. Tuesday, right away in the morning, I wake up at 7 o'clock. When I'm up at 7, I text him, hey, day 4, no follow-up. It's because it was Friday was the last time he talked. So Saturday didn't happen. Sunday didn't happen. Monday didn't happen. Today's Tuesday. 4 days, no follow-up. He texts back 15 minutes later, which is great how quick he was. But again, he texts back, delivery, hey, Wednesday, delivery between 10 and 3 tomorrow on Wednesday. All right, so if it's already set up between 10 and 3 tomorrow, that means he already had bought it.
Right, yeah.
Right? I mean, in the 15 minutes, from 7 to 7:15, he didn't buy it and get a delivery set up. I know that. So
unless he was standing in Home Depot just as you text him.
And didn't, but again, I have to ask. I had to get the follow-up. I had to pry it out of him. So Wednesday, a new one comes in. I got a brand new one instead of like a as good as new, whatever, but it's smaller. So yeah, do I get to?
But it works, right?
I have a brand new one, but it's smaller than the old one, but it's new. So yeah, it's a good trade. So. It's a good trade, as they did on Dance with the Wolves. Good trade. Good trade.
Oh, okay. Dave's okay now, right?
But now I have a fridge now. Yes, my sodas are finally cold again.
And your pizza is actually frozen.
All those times I talked to you, was there one time that he followed up with me first? No. It was always me and him reacting to me not getting a follow up.
Yeah.
So it just drives me insane. Like, come on, folks. So over 2 weeks it took. Yes.
Yeah, I have to say, where I live, we have a large, real estate company who's our, management. And anytime I've had a problem, they've replaced it. And so I think I don't know how many years ago it was, my fridge went, and it was just making this whole huge shudder. And it was like just making this noise. And it's like, my refrigerator is making really bad noises. So they sent one of their guys over. Yeah, your refrigerator is making really bad noises. We're going to call the appliance guy. Appliance guy comes over and goes, that noise means the compressor's going. You're getting a new fridge. And like within 48 hours, I had a new fridge. So yeah, I got to give the company I rent from a lot of props because, hot water heater's been replaced. Well, I've been here forever, but they pretty much replaced every single appliance in the place. So it's kind of nice. But,
sweet.
It's nice to have a responsive place to rent from.
And I work for a place like that. I'm like that. That I mean, when I wouldn't treat our tenants like I'm getting treated, and that's what really. That's when you really have a problem with life.
Yeah, because it's your livelihood, so
Right. Karma, you're right.
Yeah.
Karma doesn't come back. Shouldn't be coming back on me on this because I don't do this to other people.
Right.
So
yeah. Dave's a good one. Dave's one of the good guys.
It's so upsetting because I know how to do it.
Right. Well, let's give some good people in Milwaukee some things to do. Yay. So
happening.
Yes. So tomorrow is 414 day. because it's April 14th. And guess
Yes.
what? We are in the area code. Da, 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 da. What are we in, Dave?
You're in 414. Yes, I think I am. My cell phone is. Yes.
Yeah, I'm 414. Anyway, so tomorrow's 414 day in Milwaukee. There are a lot of places who usually give discounts. I was trying to find them. I had a hard time doing it. So, if you're not sure, there's a lot of local places that'll do some 414 specials.
Yeah, they'll have sales going
Yeah,
on.
they'll have things going
I
on.
I hear Chicago stole it. They have a 312 day going on now too, or something like that.
Oh, everybody does stuff like that. So tomorrow's Earth Day, or not tomorrow. April 22nd is Earth Day.
And my sister's birthday.
That's your. Aw, happy birthday,
Lori.
Dave's
Happy birthday,
sister.
Lori.
Yeah, happy birthday. So on April 22nd, there's going to be a lot of different community places and whatnot, doing cleanups and, planting trees and things like that. So I highly encourage you to just look online to find some of those things. I know that, you don't have to be part of any of these groups. You can just go out and grab a garbage bag and put some gloves on and pick up garbage and clean things up. So I highly encourage people to do that. So I think that'd be kind of
Just
cool.
even folks, when you're on your walk, just always pick up something from the ground.
Yeah.
Always something on the ground. Just pick up one thing. We all did that.
Yeah, and you know what? If you just didn't throw it out the window, that would be kind of nice too.
That'd be great too.
Yeah.
Make the Indian cry.
Yeah. Who wasn't actually Indian, believe it or not, but we won't go into that right now. Looks like farmers markets are going to be back. Farmers markets are going to be back. If you have a local farmers market, a lot of them are doing. They were last year too, but they're going to be back in full force this year because I know some of them, had really limited stuff. But some of the stuff I was seeing online, West Dallas Farmers Market looks like they're doing a whole lot. I know Tosa Farmers Market is back. A lot of the ones, in the neighboring communities, Greenfield, New Berlin, a lot of them start in May, but some of them are going now. So, definitely farmers markets are the way to go for your fresh veg. So, and they also sell a lot of plants and stuff too. So for spring, look for those plants.
That's true as well.
Yep.
That's true as well.
Yeah.
Yes, you said there's traveling beer markets, and we weren't talking about not drinking, but hey, there you go.
Yeah, so go to the Milwaukee County Parks website. The Traveling Beer Garden is going to be back for this year. I know that Whitnall Park has a beer garden, but that one is it's in place year round. Well, not year round, but it's in place.
They have a hut there,
through the season. It doesn't travel, but the Traveling Beer Garden. So check the Milwaukee County Parks website to see what the schedule is, and it will be coming to a park near you. So yeah, you had another one.
Well, you like the makers. You're a makers person.
I love maker.
So they're bringing that back 24th, 26th at the MSOE. So hopefully that'll be cool. Get that back out and going on again.
Yeah, that will be. And then you had another one on here that I was interested in.
The Van Gogh or the Black Restaurant Week.
The Black Restaurant Week. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yes. Right now, we didn't know this last week. We actually didn't do the Rockabilly Chili was last weekend.
I didn't know that. That's your thing. Yeah.
Yeah. We missed that. And but April 12th, so starting yesterday through the 18th, check 88.9 for a list of the Milwaukee Black restaurants. And please do some patronage there.
Yeah, and I know that there's a few black restaurants that have vegan options, so I'm definitely going to check that out. And then you had a really cool art thing.
Well, yes, Beyond Van Gogh, an imaginative and immersive presentation crafted for unique times by world-renowned audiovisual designers. Beyond Van Gogh uses cutting-edge projection technology to create an engaging journey into the world of Van Gogh. It's at the Wisconsin Center. It's one of the things where all of his pictures are like on the walls and everything like that when you walk in.
Oh, that's really cool.
So it's like an hour long. That's why I call it an immersion. It's kind of like, the fields he painted will be as big as the wall, and things like that. So,
that'll be cool.
And you kind of walk through it, and they say it takes about an hour. I didn't see what the cost was. I didn't want to look because I want to go to this thing.
You want to see what the cost was because you're going anyway.
Yeah. But right now, the first one's open, so I got to get with Christy tomorrow when we have our midweek date night. See when we want to go because July was already like July 10th or 12th, which was open. So
cool.
It's not they're already pushed out already. It's getting filled up. So certainly, go on there and request a time.
Yeah,
So,
I have a little thing to tell everybody. I know it's close to my heart. I don't have this in the show notes. The bead show is permanently canceled. So the Bead and Button
no.
show, Bead and Button magazine, which was run out of Wisconsin, folded last summer during COVID,
Oh,
and so the Bead and Button show is no longer. And
oh boy.
what's so devastating is it was the largest bead and button show in the world, and
How
we
can
had
the
it here in
largest
Milwaukee.
ever go under? How can the large? Because now it could just be smaller. I mean, it's just
Well, it was
someone's got to
run
do
by Bead
something,
and Button magazine, so it's like, yeah, there's
right?
other bead shows, nationally,
Right. But
but
it was just
this one
it's
was
just like
local.
we were talking about up north, that place that the concerts that ran Rock USA and Country USA up in Oshkosh.
Yeah,
That guy went under.
yeah.
They're thin margins, and they pay money down for venues, and then that didn't happen, and they're out of money. You know what I mean? It just that business is gone.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So a lot of those types of businesses really got devastated by COVID. So I really feel bad, but it's like, ugh, now I just have to visit bead stores. That was like having every bead store in one place because all the major bead stores were there. It was
sure,
kind of
sure,
cool.
sure.
Yeah. And then they had a really cool gallery. Like they always had a gallery of bead artwork, which would just blow you away. Some of these the photos I took, just I still look at them and go, I can't believe somebody actually made that. And I used to do all sorts of stuff, so it's like,
Sure.
yeah.
Well, those even when I like watching on Antiques Roadshow when they bring out the Native American beadwork blankets and
Yeah.
just
Yeah, the cultural
ceremonial
historical
things.
stuff,
Right,
yeah,
right, right.
really
Just
really
beautiful.
beautiful. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so our pearls of wisdom was picked out by Dave. So hang on, we gotta do
Life
bubbles, we gotta
moves.
do bubbles.
Okay.
We have to do bubbles for the pearls. All right, Dave, what do you got for us?
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. And that's
Yes,
actually from Ferris Bueller.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Yes.
Now, we've all had about 2 years, a year and a half off here. Now, while we had the last year and a half off, did we stop and look around at the stuff that was around us and the people that were around us during this? Or did they become the bane of your existence, did you find out during the year and a half?
You know what?
You
For
know,
me, I've basically consolidated who's close to me, and we did a lot of kayaking, so we were out in nature a lot, and just
right?
doing creative stuff and whatnot. So I think COVID was not fun, but we made the best of it, and I think
I
that.
think it was a nice reset for a lot of people. I think it just took people. Will the bars ever be as full as they ever were? Probably.
Oh yeah.
But but we did have a lot of problems that came in with alcoholism and child abuse because damn kids are around all the time. They can't get out of there.
Well, it's not funny, but yeah, I mean, it's like, and it was horrible because there were some people who were, stuck in homes with abusers, especially during lockdowns, and there was
And the
a
other
lot of
part of it all is that
depression.
people with special needs couldn't get to their special needs teachers, and there was
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that a lot of autistic kids freaked out, and they're having a hard time, and there is it was a hard time for a lot of people
Well, and
you know
the lesson is you just need to take advantage of what you can and appreciate what is around you. Cause
Mm,
yeah, I mean, we lost a year. We all lost a
yeah,
year. So yeah,
yeah, no, it's just a different one. It's not a lost year. I kept working, so I can't do that.
yeah,
I can't be like that. I just
yeah,
can't.
true.
It was just another weird year, It's just in my life now,
Dave's
it's just,
had
and
many
that's what I
weird
keep thinking.
years.
You just got to get past. You got to remember, we started the show before Trump, and he's gone. Well, kind of, but do you know what I mean? It's like we got through that. We got through Trump. You know, COVID's nothing.
Well, I'm fully vaccinated now, so I've got another about a week, and I'm good to go.
Go
So
everywhere.
I'll
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah. Well, and
100%.
that's why I
Well,
say our time capsule in August. I'm not having a problem with it now because to
yeah,
me,
yeah,
as we were just talking, if you're not vaccinated, by then you had an opportunity, and so what? Now that's your fault now.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, so we want to thank our viewers and our listeners, Dave's mom,
JT,
Shadesy, Chrissy, and who else? And
Marianne,
Marianne. My neighbor Pat, who's actually going to be moving
guys
away
that.
from me.
Oh no.
Yeah, but she's moving into a really nice residence area, so I'm really happy for her because I think it's going to be really good for her. But I'm going to miss having her as my neighbor. Anybody else who stumbled across us
Oh yeah,
randomly?
now then you get new neighbors, and then it's all the what kind of neighbors are they going to be?
I
Oh, they got
know, don't
kids that are
even.
snotty nosed and running around in their diapers all the time.
I'm not home that much. But if you tell two people and you tell two people and
This
they
is
tell
how
two
people.
people,
This is how people.
exactly. We can become internet famous because that's our goal to become internet famous. So yeah, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hip.or.critical. You can tweet me over here. And we have the Moke Milwaukee uh, Facebook group, and keep in touch. Keep watching, subscribe, all that good stuff.
We love you, Milwaukee.
Hang on. We gotta do our thingy. Yes. Bye, Milwaukee. And Dave's giving you hearts. Aw, we love you.